Hello and welcome to Not Without My Sister, the Minisode. We're today to celebrate roughly, what a celebration, roughly 6 months since our first episode. I thought we'd just do a little check-in with each other. Oh, sorry, I'm Rosemary McCabe and this is my sister Beatrice. Beatrice, say hi to everybody.
Hi.
That was my best intro yet. How are you? I'm checking in. It's almost a year since we first heard of the word coronavirus. How has your year been?
It's been top-notch, thanks, Rosemary. How's yours been?
Well, Beatrice, it's actually been a very eventful year for me because I moved countries and moved continents in the middle of it. Not to be confused with incontinence.
Depends, as they say.
Yeah, listen, it's been very stressful, so we could... Yeah, anyway. Yeah, I just kind of thought about this the other day because I was chatting to somebody today who texted me and said, what are restrictions like over there? Are they way stricter than they are at home in Ireland? And
sorry, Rosemary, I'd just like to back up. I'd like to back up for a second there, if you pardon the pun, back to the incontinence. The depends was about adult diapers. Did you get that joke?
No.
I don't think you did. Yeah, I was talking
about
adult
diapers got to do with anything?
You said incontinence. I said it depends.
Yeah.
It was like, if you're incontinent, you're going to need an adult nappy.
Oh.
It was a pun, Rosemary, that you didn't get. And then I said back up into that and you didn't get that either. So, anyway, I just wanted to note that it was a joke.
Oh. I don't see where you were referring to adult diapers, but I got the joke.
What? With incontinence?
Yeah, no, but you didn't say the words adult diapers until just there.
I said depends, and I gave you a wink.
Depends. What does depends mean?
Depends is the most famous adult diaper brand.
Okay. So sorry, that's where you lost me.
Oh my God.
Obviously. Where did they come up with that?
Depends if you need us. I don't know. Maybe depend on us. Dependable is what they should be called. Maybe the dependable diaper. I don't know. We'll look it up after this.
God, I can't wait.
In case we ever need them. Go on. Anyway, go on.
Listen, we'll put it in the show notes. The origin of Depends, the world's most famous adult diaper brand.
You know what? The year has honestly gotten me to the point of just total laziness that I feel like I just sit in this chair looking at my Zoom all day long, never have time to go for lunch, never have time to have a break. Maybe I do need adult diapers and I wouldn't even have to get up to go to the toilet.
That doesn't sound like laziness. That sounds more like you've been incredibly busy, but also busy in a sedentary way, which I guess is kind of new for all of us. You know what I mean?
It's like, and now people are really, somebody commented the other day that people are so impatient now if you're a minute late to a meeting because they know you're at your desk. Like, God forbid you should be going to run to the toilet. It's really like, is she coming? Is she here? It's 8:01.
Yeah.
And also because you're at home and there's no commute time, everybody started meetings really, really early as well now. We used to have meetings at 8:30 a.m, right? But now they're at 7:30. That's actually funny because I was trying to get Brandon the other day. He was working from home and I was trying to get him to take a lunch break to walk the dog. And he was basically like, Rosemary, I'm at work. I can't. And I was like, you could be in the bathroom. He was like, I'm not going to say to my boss, I've been in the bathroom for 40 minutes. Sorry. I was like, well, does he not get a lunch break?
He do. I think he only gets a 30-minute lunch break. I don't know that they necessarily take their lunch breaks. I must ask him.
Yeah, we only get a 30-minute lunch break as well.
Oh, God.
If you take it. Yeah.
I suppose sometimes when I had jobs, when I had an hour-long lunch break, you'd be a bit like, this is a waste. I'd rather have the half hour back at the end. You know what I mean? I'd rather just leave half an hour earlier. I know that's not necessarily how it works.
But I don't think, I was going to say, I don't think you do. Maybe Mom did. Anyway, back to you. You were saying.
Flexi time. I was just saying, I actually, you know what, for the first about 6 months of the pandemic and lockdown and, when I moved over here, I found it all massively stressful. I found it really hard to get any kind of productive writing work done. I found it really difficult to, I don't know, even imagine a scenario where I would be feeling productive and feeling positive. And I realised today that I think I haven't cried in about 6 days. That's actually a record for the last year.
Oh,
there was definitely a period. Thank you. There was definitely a period where I was crying not bawling, crying every day, but something would set me off every single day.
Well, when did you get your hair done? You cried that day.
What was I crying for that day?
Because you and I were having a
we
minor
had an
tiff.
argument. No, so that was the night before I got my hair done, which was Tuesday, 10 days ago.
Oh,
Like,
so maybe you haven't cried since then.
No, I
But you're
definitely have
engaged
cried
now,
since
Rosemary. Sure, what you have to be crying about?
then. Okay, Claire McCabe.
Everything you ever wanted is now on your finger.
You're a fucking idiot. But like, oh yeah, and the other thing I was going to say was that, now this also sounds like I'm suddenly like, I'm fine, I've come through the other side. But I suddenly have found myself able to write again, and not just, because I was kind of getting through writing the stuff that I had to write, you know, like stuff that I had a deadline for or whatever. Whereas this week I finally got back to writing my book, and I was like, I actually feel like for the first time in a year, like I can actually write this and like get it done. Because I was beginning to go, I'm never going to get it. It's terrible timing. It's just never going to get written. And now I'm like, oh, it totally is.
Well, good job. The other day you wrote 2,700 words.
I know,
which
yeah.
is approximately 2,699 more words than I can force my children to write in virtual schooling.
And it's probably 2,699 words that didn't need to be in that chapter. Like, that'll probably end up getting excised. So I wouldn't worry too much about how productive it is.
I'm happy to edit for you.
Oh, I know you are.
I'm happy to edit for you whenever you want. Send it on over to me. I'll be. I'm not super critical. I'm very measured in my feedback to you.
Oh, no, you are. But I think I'm also super sensitive to feedback from you in a way that I wouldn't necessarily be to feedback from someone else. Because I really value your opinion. I love you.
Nonsense, but you can also just disregard it from me in the way that you can from somebody else. And you know what? All I want is the truth. That's all I want from you. Like, I want the honesty. That's all I want. I think that when you write, the thing that you wrote yesterday, I was like, that was brilliant. Like, it was really honest, and it was funny, but like without trying to be funny.
Thanks.
I want to hear more of that. I want to hear that gritty. I want to hear the not Lena Dunham, actually. Yeah, the Lena Dunham at the beginning of Girls.
You want the gritty realism of my life, my hard life as a white girl growing up in Kildare.
Rosemary.
You want the gritty truth.
Yes, listen, it was hard growing up in Kildare.
No,
it wasn't that hard. I mean, it wasn't that hard.
But how are you feeling? I know, like, at the very beginning of this, I remember it well. You were basically doom scrolling the New York Times for 12 hours a day.
Oh, yeah, I'm still doing that.
Are you?
Oh, yeah. I got to stay up with the news. I would say the silver lining that's come out of COVID or coronavirus or whatever you want to call it for us is, well, it's a disaster that here we have to opt in for your virtual schooling or your in-person schooling. And Dawn opted in for virtual over the holidays without consulting me.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. And I was ready to sit down and have a long conversation about it. Although, I mean, I think we probably would have ended up doing virtual anyway, but not being consulted sort of peeved me. Regardless, he was like, "You're being ridiculous. I knew what you were going to want," says every man ever, right? I'm like, no, you didn't. But anyway, because I mean, I'm kind of worried about, it's so boring for them. Like, I'm worried about their lack of socialization and all this kind of stuff. Anyway, so now you can't opt back in because this week, the 7-year-old Bo is absolutely refusing. Not this week, sorry. Since we came back from the Christmas break, Bo has basically given up on school. Which, okay, you could repeat the grade if you need to. Well, you could repeat the grade. It's so confusing, let me tell you. Like, these maths are, none of it is like prepped for a kid. It's so boring. Like, I don't know why they don't, I do understand why they don't do it in person, but like watching these videos where they give these long, hello, first graders, hello, first grade learners, and then these convoluted stories. And then today, one of them was reading a book over the video. It was a recording of a reading of a book. Wallace the mouse did this. He picked up the luggage and he heved it onto the truck. I'm like, heved? Heaved, Rosemary. Yes, heaved. This is the education my children are getting right now virtually. Anyway.
I'm shocked.
I know. So anyway, but I'd kind of forgotten that a while ago, because we're in America and, like dangerous things happen in schools in a way that they don't happen as frequently in other countries, school shootings and stuff. And like all of them have to do their drills and their active shooter training and all this kind of stuff. And like, it's terrifying, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, Dawn announced like about 2 years ago, Dawn was like, I think for middle school, the worst, most traumatic 3 years of your life. And that's when you're basically, it's like first year to third year, right? I think I'm going to homeschool them. I was like, you're not going to homeschool them. Like I've had this conversation multiple times. Like you're not a teacher. You know, I don't understand personally. I mean, I understand some people want to do it and are going to be great at it and really dedicated. But like, I don't understand why we all think that somebody has, it's like celebrities starting brands. I'm like, what makes you think that you're a fashion designer? You know, this person studied 4 years to be an educator. Why do you think that you can pick up the book and do the same thing? And maybe you're great at it. Maybe you have a natural inclination. I'm not sure that's done, right?
But I mean, surely this homeschooling period has taught him that that's not him or any of us.
Oh,
you know
that's precisely. Fast forward 9 months. Yesterday, Don comes in looking entirely frazzled. You know what? Fuck this. No fucking way I can be a homeschooler. He's like, if I've learned something, they are going to middle school. I was like, good. Yeah, but meanwhile, I got an email back from the teacher on Friday. Bo, a big long email. I think I sent it to you. Big long letter. Bo isn't paying attention. Bo is
I had to have a stern talk with Bo.
Oh, yeah. And then I had to speak one-on-one to him when he took the iPad into the bathroom and tried to wash his feet in front of the class. I can't.
There's something kind of biblical about that, though. She could have used that as
I
a
know.
lesson.
I was going to say he's preparing for his communion.
You could have told her that was an Irish tradition. She probably would have believed you.
I know, but probably. But I just can't anymore. I'm like, I'm trying to work, you know, I'm trying to work at the same time as he's trying to do this. Then Don's running around after the other four who are just absolute gobbers. The other three.
Jesus.
Well, and the dog. And the dog.
Yeah. And the cat.
And the cat. I can't. Anyway, so I'd say, how's it going? It's still going. That's how it's going.
But I mean, are you feeling... are we feeling more positive about it now that there's a vaccine? I kind of feel like we're on the home stretch. It's just a very, very long stretch.
I think we're halfway through it. I mean, I think that if you look at what they're saying, that the vaccines are running out, et cetera, I don't want to get all doom and gloom, but I mean, I think realistically we're halfway through it. But I don't know as well, because kids aren't getting vaccines, so I don't know what that means.
Yeah.
You know? So I don't know. I don't know. Yes, there's a light at the end of the tunnel. I just want mom and dad to get vaccinated. Mom's a teacher. I really want mom to come over here and teach the kids. That's all I need.
Oh my God.
That would literally change my life.
I didn't know that was your strategy. That makes a lot of sense. And she is
absolutely genius. Oh my, no, not so much anymore. She got a little bit older, a bit cranky with the boys. But that's fine. Way less cranky than us.
Listen, she has patient Saint Dad who can be her SNA, her special needs assistant in the class. Can you imagine? Can you actually imagine?
Well, Rosemary, what are you looking forward to doing? Well, I mean, actually, so I texted Mom yesterday and I go, I think it's okay to bring kids to the playground. Because, at the beginning they were like, don't bring kids to a playground. It's like a germ pit. Mm-hmm. Mom writes back, well, here the playgrounds are all closed, but you're probably fine. Why don't you bring them to the playground and then maybe drive them through McDonald's? I don't know if any restaurants are open for takeaway there. Rosemary, why don't you tell people if restaurants are open?
This is what I was saying to my friend who texted me and said, are things much stricter there? And I was like, everything is open. We passed by an absolutely packed IHOP, International House of Pancakes. I didn't realise that's what it stood for the other day. Everything is open. I've watched the Instagram stories of people I know in town having birthday parties with 20 or 30 women in a small room, no masks in sight. I've seen people at weddings. It's totally, the only thing here is that there is a mask mandate, not even a government mask mandate, but a mask mandate from certain stores. So you can't go into Walmart, you can't go into Kroger, you can't go into certain chain shops without a mask on. But other than that, you can do whatever you want, as far as I can tell.
Depends where you go. I mean, I think most people are wearing masks in public places, but certainly not in restaurants and not...
Oh, yeah, no.
It is, I mean, it's not going to be enforced because the other thing is, nobody's going to do anything to it. It's not illegal not to wear a mask.
Yeah. Yeah, I did see somebody in Walmart. So when it was first introduced in Walmart, they had a greeter at the door to just make sure everybody was wearing a mask. And she stopped some man and said, "Excuse me, sir, could you put a mask on?" And he just went, "Fuck you," and walked straight in. And I was feeling so sorry for her because I was like, she can't do anything.
Oh dear. Well, on that happy note, so basically we're happy that we're still here. We're happy we're safe and sound. I miss you. I wish you hadn't broken your foot. That was extremely bad timing because we could at least be going for walks.
I know, it was such bad timing. I also wish that I had a car so that I could even come over and have coffee outside, or, you know what I mean, so that I could have a little bit more freedom to drop over. Because I have stuff that I'd love to drop over to you and just bring you coffees. And
I have a car. I'd happily pop over to you, but there's nowhere to sit in your garden except on the step.
I know.
We could do that.
Well, we could sit in the, well, yeah, we could sit in the step. We could sit in the porch, but it's absolutely freezing now and it's not really
Oh, it is freezing.
outdoors. It's freezing.
I mean,
in
it's
that porch,
snowing
so.
right now. It's snowing.
And also the porch now
snowing as
smells
we
like
speak.
smoked meat because that's where we put the smoker.
Delicious.
It's awful.
You are selling this to me.
I know. I went out there yesterday and I was like, why does it smell like pork out here? And then I realised my 2 vintage chairs are out
Oh
in
my
the
God.
porch
I'll be
now. They
like,
smell
Don,
pork as well.
I'm off. I'll be back soon, stinking of pork.
I'm
Great.
off to the
Can't
porky
wait.
porch. The porch. The porch pork.
Porch.
Anyway, look,
Oh,
I mean, I guess what I wanted to, I just thought it would be nice to do a little bit of a check-in and to go, we know that this has been long. This has been a very long time. And I really feel for everyone in Ireland, like in this really strict lockdown. I can imagine it's getting harder and harder. But I also wish we were under some kind of strict lockdown because it terrifies me that we're not.
as do I. And I'm telling you, when I go into the office and people take off their masks and say things like, do you mind, you take yours off if you want to. I don't mind if you don't wear one. I am not comfortable.
And what do you say? Do you just say, like, do you say, could you put yours back on or do you just keep yours on?
I keep mine on because
Yeah.
I have no ability to force them to wear their masks.
Yeah, no, I know. And you also don't, like, it's hard because you don't want to, it feels confrontational. I remember when Brandon and I went looking at floors, we went into this flooring place and you wanted no mask on. She's like, oh, you can take your masks off. And I felt like going, no, and I'd rather you put one on. But instead I was like, oh, we're fine. Thanks.
Maybe people have forgotten that it's just, I think it's the fact that it's I wish it was a big pink virus. And then there would be no problem. You know what I mean? I think that would be really like, oh my God, I see the pink virus coming, put my mask on. Whereas because it's invisible, it just makes it hard.
Imagine, oh my God.
Do you know what? There's an actual plan. Now I'm going to go and I'm going to somehow figure out how to manufacture droplet colorers. And then I'm going to just spray them in the air and all of the droplets from people's breath will just suddenly glow a certain color. And then they'd see how far they're reaching when they're spitting in my direction.
Oh my God, we'd all be running away from each other and into traffic. It'd be like Pokemon Go.
It'd be brilliant. It'd be absolutely brilliant.
Oh my God, I think you're going to be a millionaire. On that note, we'll be back on Tuesday with a full episode. I hope you really enjoyed this informative little look inside our lives.
Highly
thrilling updates.
scientific.
Yeah, oh my God, of course, always. Highly scientific and well-researched. All of our research, including the origins of Depends, the adult diaper brand, will be in the show notes. And we'll catch you on Tuesday.
Thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening.
Bye.
Bye. Not Without My Sister is produced by Liam Garrity, sound and original music by Don Kirkland, and our original illustration is by Lindsay Nielsen.
Not Without My Sister is a member of The Warren.
As is our podcast, The Critter Shed.
For more great podcasts, hop along to thewarren.ie.